Most of what I'm teaching in this course could be described as sort of like texting best practices or generally good text strategy. But I do want to point out that every girl is a little different with regards to text, right? They all have different personalities, they're used to different things, those kind of things. They also respond to different forms of communication more or less strongly, depending on, how they feel about themselves, what mood they're in, how they view you, that kind of stuff. So my first suggestion for calibrating to the specific girl is this. As you start to develop a text history with a girl, notice what she responds to. Have there been a few circumstances where things are going well, and then all of a sudden you send a text and it goes silent? Look at those texts. Oftentimes, it's the exact same thing that's making her go silent every single time, right? Sometimes it's when you switch to logical questioning mode, all of a sudden she goes silent. Or sometimes it's when you start escalating towards plans, that's when she goes silent. So notice what the thing is that's getting the negative reaction. Also, notice if you've resuscitated some silences or if you've had certain things where it's kind of like going so-so and then it suddenly goes really well. Notice what the communication style was that got them there. And basically, girls will tell you how to talk to them. Girls will tell you how to communicate with them by how they respond to your various communications. So look back at your chat history and see if you can figure out the girl's blueprint. See if you can figure out what it is that she responds to, because once you do, everything you do in text is going to be tremendously easier. And once you've had, a few days or a week of texting with a girl, you'll get a pretty good idea of what the vibe is that she's looking for, what types of text she responds to, what she doesn't, where she sees value, and then you can text near perfectly. The second area where you can calibrate to the girl very, very quickly and easily is in terms of communication style. Certain girls, when they text, it's like 10 exclamation points, like 3 emoticons, like they multi-text, send these long texts. Other girls are very formal, properly punctuated, proper, that kind of stuff. Now, you don't want to change completely over to the girl because there are certain characteristics that I think are more masculine. For example, like as a guy, I'm never going to be doing like OMG, LOL, Yeezys, exclam, smiley face, 6 emoticons. That's not going to be my texting style. As a man, just like barf. No, not happening, right? But that said, if she's very much that way, you can use an extra emoticon here and there, or use an exclamation point where you might not otherwise do it, and it's gonna kind of match her tone in the conversation, right? If she's like really excited and you seem really formal, there's this mismatch. It's not very, very good. On the other hand, certain girls, especially like educated girls, they really appreciate proper punctuation and grammar even in text. If she's writing like proper English sentences and writes a period at the end of her text, you might not want to write too many like weird acronyms and abbreviations, and you certainly want to watch your spelling, right? You might not want to write a UR for YOU apostrophe RE, okay? You want to calibrate and make sure that you're communicating in a way that's congruent with their communication style, and also in a way that's communicating in a way that's congruent with their values. And again, you can tell a lot. Within a few texts, you can tell how they communicate, okay? So pay attention to that. It's a little adjustment, a little calibration, but it makes a big, big, big difference. Text conversation I'm about to show you is a great example of adjusting to the girl's blueprint, adjusting to the situation in which you met the girl. So this particular girl, when I met her, she was massively, massively nervous, okay? Like to the point, I met her actually, I was with a student on one of my immersion programs, and I started talking to them, students started talking to her friends, and the girl like really, really, really liked me to the point that she was flustered, to the point that like she had trouble talking to me, all right? She was going really silent. Her friend was like, she's not normally shy. I don't know why she's like this. She's not normally shy. But at the same time, she'd laugh at everything I said. She didn't want to leave. She wanted to hang out with us more and more and more. So she's giving all the indicators of liking me, but she was just super nervous around me. And in fact, it was kind of a weird situation because I was doing immersion. So I actually like dropped the student and the 2 girls off at a diner and had him like keep them company for a while and get practice while I went back and met up with all my other immersion students and coached them for like 45 minutes and then came back. And apparently during that 45 minutes, the girl could talk. And then I came back and all of a sudden like she couldn't talk anymore because she was too nervous, okay? This is kind of an extreme example, but it's a case of looking at what the girl needs, okay? This girl, if you look at like value and comfort, I had massive value, but she just felt uncomfortable. She felt I was like better than her, if anything, or she felt like I was out of her league, felt distrusting, whatever. So that on the date itself or on the meetup itself, I was being very soft and giving her lots of compliments and being very sweet to her. And that continues into the text. So you're going to see a lot of texts in this example that are not texts I would normally send. You're going to see a lot of texts that are giving away my value. A lot of texts that are like being a little needy. And the reason is, even though you're not supposed to be needy in text game, I'm calibrating and adjusting to the girl. And so you're going to see a lot of stuff that just looks more sweet than necessary. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm pretty much going to just be like, I will go with whatever she needs. Like she needs time. She needs to feel comfortable. My only thing is I don't want to meet her with friends exclusively. I want to have one-on-one time, because the big issue why I think couldn't go down the first time was because she had a friend there. So I definitely want to make sure that when we meet up, there's at least this one-on-one if possible. But beyond that, I don't much care. Okay? And if she needs to take it slow, fine. If she needs to tell herself that it's under a particular sort of frame or like a particular like reason for hanging out, fine. Whatever she needs to tell herself, I just need to get her out, get her alone, and spend that time with her. So with that said, let's crack into the text. So first text is very early on in the interaction. She just texted me her name from her phone. That's it. So we exchanged numbers, and then we decided to go on like an instant date afterwards. But we just exchanged numbers. She texted me that. Okay, I don't hit her up, hang out with her, hang out with her friend, hang out with my student for quite a while. Then eventually they leave and go home. And then I don't hit her up until the next day. And I say, hey, just wanted to let you know I enjoyed meeting you last night, smiley face. Now this is super, super like nice and even needy and very much like you can have my validation and like you know, I like you, that kind of stuff. Why? Because I already have so much value. I don't need to do more value. I don't need to be cool. I don't need to be aloof. I don't need to be hard to get. I just need to let her know I'm genuine, because that's what's missing in this particular case. And so her response is, me too, it was nice, but I need to take it slowly with you. I do not want to rush into anything. So as you can tell, she likes me a lot, but she's just very nervous. And so I could try and debate this or win the frame battle. Doesn't make sense to win the battle on text, okay? You can do much more in person. So again, the primary purpose, the only purpose of text is just to get her on the date. Don't try and do too much with your texts. So I just say, sounds good. That's it. And she sends me an emoticon. Now, it is very on for plans. So even though the content of my texts is very, very like sweet and nice and like romantic and even a bit needy, I know she likes me, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time like, you know, just sending value texts and not getting to the point. I know she likes me. Plus, when we hung out, we already had a tentative plan, so I'm going to cut to the chase in terms of that. Right? Again, the blueprint in this case extends to the mode of communication, but it doesn't extend to the type of text to send. The 4 types of text still applies. So I'm going to say, movie night tomorrow. And she goes, but not at night. We can go before I'm off tomorrow, which doesn't even make sense. Before she's off work, whatever. That doesn't even make sense. We should have your friend and my friend double date. So what's going on here? She's just very, very nervous. She's nervous, she's scared, she's shy. She wants to see me, but again, she wants to come up with a way that will work out. So now I actually am legitimately busy. Plus, I really don't want to meet up with, I don't want to do the double date thing, so I think it's a huge waste of time. That's the situation we're in the other day. So I don't want to do that. So I just go, what time are you thinking? I have business stuff for part of the evening. So she wants to see me, so she texts, okay, make it early if you can. So now I have legitimate plans, plus, you know, I want the date on certain terms. So I'm like, I have to be somewhere at 5 p.m., but free before that. Again, I don't mind meeting up early. I don't mind just building comfort with it, that kind of stuff. So she says, okay, we can meet before 5. So then I say like maybe 2 p.m. She says, okay. So that's just all pure logistics. It's all pretty straightforward. No big deal. She likes me. There's no need to like get too fancy with it. It's pretty easy. But now the next day, she says, I get to work tomorrow. So when are you going to finish your meeting tomorrow? All right, so I go around 10:30. So fine, I want to meet her afterwards, which is what I already said before. She goes, okay, I'm in Rooftop with my friends. And Rooftop is, by the way, the name of a bar, right? It's like a place in New York or whatever. So I'm in Rooftop with my friends, which is pretty random. Like, it's pretty random. I think what she actually wants is for me to come meet her with her friends and kind of like be the needy guy. And she wants that safety of her friends and that kind of stuff, which again, I told you the one criteria that I have is I want to meet her alone. However, I can still flirt with her, I can still play around with her, that kind of stuff. So I say, are you suggesting I should join you? And she goes, no, we are leaving. And this to me just strikes me as like very reactive. It's very like, she knows she wants to meet me, but she's like trying too hard not to be needy. She's like, oh, no, I'm not being needy, I don't, whatever. So I just read this as her being very, very reactive. But just to be sure, just to make it like everything smooth and easy and like I didn't reject her or whatever, I say, LOL, still with clients, but might be out later. I'll let you know. And then that doesn't require any response at all. But again, she's trying to be reactive and trying to be cool and trying not to be needy. So she's like, I'm already at my place. I went home, no worries. But clearly she wants to see me. Clearly she's trying really hard, but she's also trying not to be, the needy, clingy, whatever girl. So we're on for the next day, but we don't have a time set. So again, I just get to the point because again, I know she likes me. There's no need to beat around the bush. So I go, so movies tonight? She goes, okay, can you make it a little bit earlier? How early can you meet me? Again, she doesn't want to do the nighttime thing because et cetera, et cetera. And then she has this other thing, which actually turns out it was legit too. I didn't know at the time. She says, because I have my cousin's birthday and she'll celebrate it in the city. We can go there to see her after movie if you want, but if you're going to be busy, it's fine. So I had a legitimate obligation, pretty good reason. I'm like, well, I'm working until 10:30, which was true, so I can't do earlier than that. So then she's like, okay, I'll meet you at 10:30, which means basically she's blowing off her cousin for me. So she's negotiating, but end of the day, she's just scared not to go out with me. So then I go, sounds good, I'll text you when I'm almost done, smiley face. She says, okay. And then let's meet here. I text her the location. Actually, a very good way to do directions. Let's meet here, just text a screenshot of location. It's very, very clear, gets the point across, doesn't require a lot of explanation, etc. And then when I'm done with my work, which is 10 minutes earlier than expected, just finished so I can meet up whenever. She says, okay, I'll see you at the street. So I'm like, I thought she would actually be there waiting for me. So I texted on my way and then, okay, I'm here as that kind of arose. Basically the date was really interesting for a couple of reasons. It's a pretty interesting story. So the date itself started out pretty well, but she was just very, very nervous. It was going well. I actually made plans with her to walk back and watch TV with her and watch Netflix and whatever. And so I thought it was totally good. Walked back to the hotel where I was staying and then actually went to walk her in and she got super, super nervous right there. And so what I did then is I actually, in order to play it right, actually went out and met up with her cousin and just put in some more time with her to make her more comfortable. So we actually hop in a taxi, go meet up with her cousin, then we came back and actually at that point, we grabbed a bite to eat, and then she actually did come over, and she did end up coming in and staying the night. And so that's kind of what happened. We have some interesting text here, which is one is this, I'm on my way. What actually happened was I had another situation with another girl come up where I had to get in touch with this other girl. So I ended up leaving the place while she was asleep, and then she ended up calling. So that's why I texted her, I'm on my way in the middle of the night. And then you'll see the next day, she texts me in the morning after she's left and whatnot. Thank you so much for everything. It meant a lot to me, or it's mean a lot to me in the way that she wrote it. So you can see everybody ended happy.